They say that in the Middle Ages, people smelled bad, that they were dirty and unhygienic. But is this really true? And if so, why don't we see these gross habits in other parts of the world today? Stick around to the end of this video as we answer these questions, and more only here. What was life like during the Dark Ages? The Dark Ages, or the medieval period, was an era in European history that lasted from the 5th to the 15th century. It was a time when most people in Europe lived in rural areas and were involved in farming. Life during the Dark Ages was hard and dirty. People had to work long hours just to survive, and there wasn't much time or energy left over for things like bathing. Plus, they didn't really understand the importance of hygiene. They believed that dirt and grime were good for your health and that bathing would make you sick. That's not to say that everyone was filthy. Some people, like the clergy, took more care of their personal hygiene than others. But in general, the people of the Dark Ages weren't exactly known for their cleanliness. Another reason why people did not bathe much during the Dark Ages was because there wasn't much access to clean water. Most of the water that people used for things like washing came from rivers and streams, which often contained raw sewage and animal waste, so it wasn't exactly sanitary. Not to mention the fact that most people couldn't afford soap, which is an essential ingredient when it comes to cleaning yourself. While it might be hard to imagine now, especially for those of us who live in modern society, with indoor plumbing and public health campaigns that promote regular hand washing, back then, people really didn't think much of personal hygiene. For example, they didn't have the same taboos around periods that we do today. Women would use whatever materials they had available to them, which often included the same cloth for several years. They also didn't have proper dental hygiene. They ate whatever they could get their hands on and rarely brushed their teeth. In fact, they didn't even have the concept of a toothbrush back then. Instead, they would use things like twigs and leaves to clean their teeth. It wasn't until the 19th century when people started to understand the importance of hygiene. And even then, it took decades, if not centuries, for these new ideas to catch on. This is one of the reasons why you don't see these gross habits in other parts of the world today. People have been educated on the importance of hygiene, and they have access to basic sanitation, like toilets and sinks. But what about the rest of the world? Let's take India, for example. The birthplace of yoga and Ayurveda, India has always been a land of cleanliness and hygiene. It is widely believed that the origin of the custom of bathing daily lies in India. According to ancient texts like the Vedas and Upanishads, bathing was seen as a ritualistic duty and an integral part of daily life. Bathing was not only meant for maintaining physical cleanliness, but was also believed to have spiritual and religious significance. This custom eventually spread to other parts of the world, including Europe, where it took centuries to catch on. In Japan, cleanliness is next to godliness. The Japanese have a deep respect for cleanliness and hygiene, which dates back to ancient times. The Shinto religion, which originated in Japan, places great emphasis on purity and cleanliness. One of the key features of Shinto religious practice is the ritual of purification called misogi. Misogi involves cleansing oneself with water, either by washing the entire body or by pouring water over the hands and face. This ritual is performed before entering a shrine or participating in religious ceremonies to purify oneself and to pay respects to the gods. This custom has influenced everyday life in Japan, where it is common for people to wash their hands and face thoroughly before eating a meal, and to bathe naked in hot springs or onsen. In China, cleanliness has always been important. In traditional Chinese culture, cleanliness was seen as a sign of order and balance. The concept of yin and yang, which is a central principle in traditional Chinese philosophy, emphasizes the importance of maintaining balance and harmony between opposing forces. Cleanliness was seen as a way of keeping the body in balance with the natural world. The practice of bathing in hot springs or onsens also has a long tradition in Chinese culture. Onsens were believed to have healing and restorative properties and were used to treat various ailments. So while it might seem gross to us today, not bathing for long periods of time was once a common practice in many parts of the world. Today, we understand the importance of hygiene and sanitation, and we know how important it is to keep ourselves clean. But it wasn't too long ago that this wasn't the norm. Now you know. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.